Football, the UEFA Champions League semi-final will feature Real Madrid against Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund against Paris Saint-Germain. German club Bayern Munich defeated Arsenal in the two-leg quarterfinals. 14-time champions Real Madrid defeated English club Man City 4-3 on penalties after the tie was level at 4-all after two legs. More details in this report. With the UEFA Champions League semi-finals on the horizon, here is a look at which teams will play each other in the semi-final stages. Semi-final 1, Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. Bayern Munich will face Real Madrid in the first semi-final. Both the teams have faced each other 26 times, 12 wins for Bayern Munich, 11 wins for Real Madrid, and 3 matches ended in a draw. Bayern Munich qualified for the semi-finals after 3-2 aggregate win against Arsenal in the semi-finals. With a tie level at 1-all after the first leg, Joshua Kimmich scored the decisive goal to send the Bavarians through to semis. Real Madrid reached the semi-final after beating Manchester City 4-3 on penalties after the tie was level at 4-all after two legs. Semi-final 2, Borussia Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain. Borussia Dortmund will face Paris Saint-Germain in the second semi-final. Both the teams have faced each other 4 times in the competition, out of which PSG has won 2 and Dortmund has won 1, with one match finishing in a draw. PSG qualified for the semi-finals with a 6-4 aggregate win against Barcelona. The French team lost the first leg by a 2-3 margin but notched a 4-1 win in the second leg to qualify. Dortmund booked its semis tickets after a 5-4 aggregate win against Atletico Madrid. Dortmund lost 2-1 in the first leg but beat Atletico Madrid 4-2 in the return fixture to punch its ticket for semis. Narayan Singh's report for DD India. Bayern Munich will play Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund will face PSG in the Champions League semi-finals. It comes after the remaining English clubs were knocked out of the competition. DD India's Oli Bharat reports from London.
An awful night for English clubs in the Champions League. Pep Guardiola, the City manager, insisting he has no regrets. Manchester City dominating the game on the night but couldn't find the extra goal they needed and then losing in that penalty shootout. Manchester City now turn their focus to the FA Cup semi-final this weekend against Chelsea, and that could well be a potentially very difficult game given the exhaustion that some of their players will be feeling after that long game with extra time and then penalties against Madrid. Their hopes of a treble are over. They still have the hope of a possible domestic double, but as I say, that's potentially going to be tricky for them given the level of exhaustion that some of those players might be feeling. Arsenal, for their part, losing out to the experienced Bayern Munich. Harry Kane, the former Spurs player, absolutely delighted. For him, he keeps his hopes of silverware, major silverware for the first time in his career, alive with that win. He left Tottenham Hotspur looking for silverware, and this competition represents the only hope this season that he has left for that. Arsenal were looking for their first Champions League semi-final spot since 2009. It wasn't to be. Mikel Arteta, the manager, saying that his players and staff now need love and support. In terms of the semi-final draw, Bayern Munich against Real Madrid, one of the classic European ties. Many people will have Real Madrid down as favourites in that game to go through to yet another final for Madrid. Borussia Dortmund against PSG. Difficult to call, but many people will have PSG as favourites, especially if their superstar Kylian Mbappe plays well over those two ties. One of the many reasons the English sides are so disappointed to go out at this stage is that the final of the Champions League this season is at Wembley Stadium here in London on June the 1st, and those English sides would have liked very much to have been there with the ability for so many home fans to make the journey to that stadium. The other reason that the results in the Champions League are difficult for English football is that it all affects that so-called coefficient, which works out how many Champions League spots each league qualifies for next year. The English Premier League has 4 spots at the moment, but the potential for a 5th if its sides do well in European competition. And those two results for Arsenal and Manchester City deal those hopes for a 5th Champions League spot next year a major blow. Oli Bharat in London reporting for DD India.
Antonio Rudiger scored the decisive penalty as Real Madrid beat holders Man City in an edge-of-your-seat 4-3 shootout penalty victory to reach the semi-finals of the Champions League after the teams were knocked out at 4-4 on aggregate following extra time. City's Bernardo Silva and Mateo Kovacic both misfired in the shootout to put Madrid in the driving seat, and Rudiger slotted their final effort past keeper Ederson to extinguish City's dreams for a second straight treble. An absorbing encounter had finished 1-1 on the night after Kevin De Bruyne's second half effort had cancelled out Rodrigo's opener for Madrid, who sealed a semi-final berth against Bayern Munich. The teams had slugged out a thrilling 3-3 draw in the first leg in Madrid, who have hosted Champions League trophy on record 14 times. Man City manager Pep Guardiola was gracious in defeat after their dream of historic second successive treble were dashed.
First of all, congratulations to Real Madrid to reach the semi-finals. They defend so deep with incredible solidarity. So we did everything. I don't have absolutely any regret about what we have done. So always we try as a managers, and so create more and concede less in every single game, because we believe that that helps to be close to win, and we did everything. So defensively, offensively, they make a good goal. So 1, 2, 3 or 4 transition, but it is normal in that level and the quality they have. But we play exceptional in all departments, in everything, and unfortunately we could not win. So that's where it is.
Meanwhile, Bayern Munich, Joshua Kimmich powered in a header to give them a 1-0 victory over toothless Arsenal and send them through to the Champions League semi-final for the first time in 4 years with a 3-2 aggregate win. Germany international Kimmich timed his run into the box perfectly to connect with Rafael Guerreiro cross and put Bayern, who had earlier hit the woodwork twice from a double chance, in the driving seat following a 2-2 finish in the second leg. The Bavarians will next face Real Madrid in the last 4, while outgoing Bayern boss Thomas Tuchel became the first German coach to reach the last 4 with 3 different teams.
I think the first half for me was more of a chess game, where nobody wanted to sacrifice a figure on the board. Nobody wanted to make the first move and open a bit of a gap. So it was hard for us to find moments of acceleration. When we found it, it looked difficult. It looked dangerous. Arsenal found some moments of acceleration and looked straight away more dangerous. The second half, we demanded and encouraged our team to show more personality, to take a little bit more risk, to shorten the distances, play more over the shoulders and not just the obvious pass. And don't forget, it's a home match. It gives you also this slight advantage to have the second match at home.
I'm really proud of the players, how they stood up and the way they tried to play, what they tried to do, especially in the first half. And then it was a game that you could see an error, an individual magic moment. It was going to decide the tie. The margins are so small. And yeah, we didn't defend well at all our box in that action. And we end up, after throwing everything and trying everything, not having enough to score a goal and have an option to go through the tie. Credit to the opponent as well. You know, it's very difficult to break opponents down, especially when they play the manner that they play, which they never do. But we had our moments, especially in the first half.
Paris Saint-Germain's Kylian Mbappe scored twice in the second half to guide his side to a 4-1 comeback win at 10-man Barcelona in their Champions League quarter-final second leg and wrap up 6-4 aggregate victory. Rafinha gave Barca the lead in the 12th minute, while PSG's Ousmane Dembele fired home for the visitors in the 40th minute to equalize. 14 minutes later, Vitinha put them ahead with a strike from the edge of the box in the 54th minute of the game. Joao Cancelo fouled Dembele in the 61st minute to concede a penalty that Mbappe fired into the top corner. With this win, PSG has now set up a semi-final place against Borussia Dortmund.
It's a shame, but I'm extremely proud of, as a coach, as a killer, to have reached where we have with the conditions as we have. When we played 11 against 11, we did very well. Well, we have been better than Paris Saint-Germain, and this refereeing decision cost us the game.
Ens rebenta el partit.
¿Cómo me siento? Me siento contentísimo.
I feel very happy. Very happy. I think my team deserved it throughout. We have been in the game at all times and we started in spectacular way. It is obvious that the expulsion plays an important factor, but everything and the fact that we played against a team for much of the game with one less man, you have to know how to play this type of game to avoid making mistakes. I think the result is fair.
Creo que el resultado es
Borussia Dortmund stormed in the Champions League semi-final with a rip-roaring 4-2 home win over Atletico Madrid that saw them fight back from 2-1 defeat in the first leg to win the tie 5-4 on aggregate. Julian Brandt put Dortmund level on aggregate in the 34th minute, and 5 minutes later Dortmund took the lead in the quarter-final tie as Jan Madsen cut in from the left and drilled perfectly placed shot at the foot of the far post. Dortmund had not reached the last four of the Champions League since they finished runner-ups in 2012-13 season. This is just the fourth time German club have advanced beyond the quarterfinals.
Extrem glücklich, extrem zufrieden und sehr stolz auf.
Yes, we felt it from the first second we came out to warm up today, that everyone wanted to use this evening to channel their energy in the same direction and make it possible. We experienced how difficult it is to play against a team that received the support of 74,000 people or over 70,000 people last week, and we wanted to counter that today. And I think that's why I mentioned in my opening statement that it's a fantastic evening for everyone. For everyone who sympathizes with us and with the black and yellow. I think this is the fourth time in BVP's history that we have made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League. That shows how special it is. But it would have been impossible if we had not all believed in it.
Von der ersten Sekunde, als wir heute rausgekommen sind zum Warmmachen, dass alle.
In this game, we went through a first half where we had the first very important play with Alvaro, but it did not resolve with a goal. In the second half, the team started very well at the beginning of the second half. We had goal-scoring opportunities. We also had one from Angel, which was very good. He scored very well, but unfortunately, then it went just wide of the post. They didn't have those kind of situations, but they were very convincing.
Now shifting focus from Champions League to English Premier League, the latest Premier League results have shifted the momentum in Man City's favour as they climb to the top of the table. City's dominant win coupled with their losses for Liverpool and Arsenal highlights their strong position. City's track record of strong finishes under Guardiola gives them a psychological edge with their upcoming schedule, providing opportunities for their rivals to catch up. Here in Sports 360, let's take a look at the three-way battle for the title race in EPL. Manchester City got ahead in Premier League title race by beating Luton last week, and next day Liverpool and Arsenal both lost. City's win and the way they played made it feel like they gained a lot of momentum. Arsenal lost to Aston Villa and Liverpool couldn't score enough against Crystal Palace. Commitments in other competition mean City do not play their next league game until April 25 at Brighton, while their rivals will have played twice more by then. Arsenal plays Wolves on Saturday and Liverpool faces Fulham the next day. After that, both the teams play again 3 days later. Arsenal plays Chelsea and Liverpool has a tough match against Everton. City's next game is on Thursday. City has a history of winning titles under their coach Pep Guardiola. In the last 6 seasons, they finished first 5 times and second once. They usually finish season strongly. This season, they have a game in hand which gives them an advantage. Arsenal under their coach Mikel Arteta were in a good position last season but didn't finish well. Liverpool have previous achievements of their own to fall back on after winning the 2019-20 title. The only interruption to City's run of dominance. Liverpool need City to make mistakes if they want a chance to win this season. Narayan Singh's report for DD India.